Seiko has adopted a new and very interesting strategy this year, and that is to literally make watches and not tell you about them. We have had multiple pieces just arrive in the store, and they are still nowhere to be found online, which is perplexing and also exciting at the same time. While some pieces of today's watch are not all here, I will fill in as much as I can about this interesting piece. Today we are reviewing the SPB419, which is a US special edition. This piece is a recreation of the 62 Mas case, which is originally from a dive watch that they made in 1965, which was the first made in Japan with water resistance, legibility, and durability that made it standard equipment on the Japanese Antarctic research expedition, and propelled Seiko into the forefront of dive watch design. The dial on it is to be determined for actual meaning, but I'm going to say that this looks like the ocean waves. But I want to hear in the comments what you think it represents, and maybe we can come up with a fun name for it. Because as you know, these dials are never what they seem. Now let's see if this watch will be a 62 Mas to add to your collection, or if it will be exactly what it is when you search for it to you, which is nothing. What's up everyone, it's Chris with the Little Treasury channel. Welcome back. This is where we bring you original and in-depth watch content at least once per week. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be alerted as soon as we upload. I'm from Little Treasury Jewelers, which is located in Gambrills, Maryland. And it's where you go when you're in the know. As always, the watches that I review are for sale and can be purchased, so please see the description below to contact us. If you're just joining us now, I'll go over the watch's detailed measurements and features, and then I'll offer my personal opinion at the end. In our last video, I reviewed the Grand Seiko SPGA489 and SPGA491, which are two new timepieces that represent the artistry of forging a katana. Each one represents a different part of a katana blade, and I recommend these to anyone who wants a great value for perhaps the first Grand Seiko, and maybe likes katanas or appreciates this significant piece of Japanese culture. Wrist check time. Today I'm wearing my Seiko SRP H42K Yakwat Chang Thailand limited edition that I picked up while I was on my vacation to Thailand last year. And since I visited 9 different temples, this was absolutely the perfect watch to pick up since it represents the white demon giant that guards the Temple of the Dawn. And actually, I'm lucky because this one's actually getting really rare right now. Now tell me which watch you're wearing while you're watching the video, and make sure to tell me why. Now let's get on to the features. My measurements for the Seiko Prospex SPB419 are a 40mm case width, a 13.6mm thickness, a 47.6mm lug to lug, a 19.5mm lug width, a 29.7mm crystal diameter, and weighing in at 179.41 grams. The case is the 62 Mas recreation, which has a large flat surface at the top in matte finish, and a small area of high polish at the edges, and the sides are matte finished. A screw down crown can be found at the 3 position, and it is simple with no logo. The bezel is a dark blue, but obvious blue, and is made out of brushed steel with a surface hardened coating applied. It turns unidirectionally like a dive watch should, and let's go ahead and test that action. The action is good and it does feel nice for something in this price point, and the clicks are a little bit more quiet than I would prefer, but that's okay, it feels good anyway. And most importantly, it does line up nicely. The dial has a distinct texture in blue, which is similar to the Grand Seiko Kirizuri idea, but this one most likely represents ice or water. However, we don't know exactly what it means yet. So I will make up a story and say that it represents a shimmering pool on a hot summer day. White markers can be found along the edge of the dial, which are the minute grade. The dial markers are thick and rectangular with high polished edges, and 2 markers can be found at the 12 position, with a small mini marker at the 3 position. Seiko can be found in black at the top middle portion. The hour and minute hands are paddle style and are in high polish, with a silver toned second hand that has a rectangular loomed area at the tip. The date window can be found at the 3 position with no frame and a white background with black numerals. Automatic, the Prospex symbol, and Divers 200M can be found on the bottom middle portion of the dial in black. Lume can be found on all dial markers, the hour and minute hands, and the pip on the bezel. The case back is closed and has the Prospex wave symbol on the center with the special edition label below it. The movement is the Seiko 6R35, which beats at 21,600 beats per hour and has a 70-hour power reserve. It has an accuracy rating of between losing 15 seconds and gaining 25 seconds per day. The bracelet is matte finished and a 3-link style, with a locking fold clasp that has a simple 4 clicks of micro adjust. The Seiko SPB419 is a US special edition, is water resistant to 200 meters, and is ready to remember your summer with for $1,250. Now for my personal opinion. So as you probably already know from our other videos, I'm a big fan of these 62 Mas divers and have seen many different variants come through our store. But I have to say that this is the most striking one that currently exists. The blue is an extremely vivid color, and with the dial texture, it really reminds me of being in a pool, which goes perfectly with the summer release like this. I do wish that this came out earlier in the summer though, because it might have been an even more popular piece when the season was ramping up. Now you can just get it to remember your great summer. This case looks great on my 6.5-inch wrist as usual for a 62 Mas, and the size is fantastic. You really have a lot to love with any 62 Mas piece, and what it really boils down to is, do you want a vivid eye-catching color, or are you someone who wants something more neutral like an SPB143? If you collect 62 Mas divers, this piece may actually be a good combo with the SPB143, since it really is the total opposite from a vivid to more subdued standpoint. I'll recommend this piece to anyone who has perhaps had a great summer and wants a hallmark blue dial to remember it by, or would just like a vivid blue dial on one of the best and collectible dive watch platforms out there. Thanks for watching today, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share with all of your friends and your family members too. I look forward to seeing you next video.